Launching a startup is a long journey with many difficulties, but it gets easier with a friend, MyCTOfriend. Hi everyone, and welcome to the CTO Tips. We are now about to talk about what every startup founder should ask to its developer. It's like a requirement when you start building a startup and you're gonna delegate some development to someone else. There are a couple of rules that I highly recommend you to follow. The first rules is to keep control of your development. And usually the development are put on what is called a repository. The repository that I recommend might be maybe Bitbucket or GitHub. And every time that your developer do or writes a piece of code, no matter the language, he can put the files in that repository so that if several developers worked on your project, they are able to work together and see each other works. As a startup founder, you do need to keep the control of that repository. And even before to start developing your application, you should subscribe an account on Bitbucket or GitHub. And Bitbucket is free, if I'm right, and GitHub, it's a small fee. And give access to your developer to be a developer to your project, but not being the owner of the source code. In that way, you will always have access. Even if you don't know how to manage it, you will always have access to the source code. And if at some stage you need to ask to someone else to review what has been done so far and to double check if your startup product is ready for growth, that's the easiest way. And it also ensure that you are the owner of the source code. You do need to double check, of course, the proposal and the contract that you will have with your developer. But that's the main, and I think the most important things to keep in mind when you start a project with someone else, with someone new, or even someone that you don't know yet, is to be sure that you keep the control of everything that is done along the way. Along the way, because if you build like, let's assume a $10K project, maybe you will have a developer who will develop the first 15K, sorry, and then someone else is gonna come and help him. And maybe the first one at some point gonna stop. And anyhow, you're gonna pay him for what he's developed so far. And you will be very transparent on, okay, you've developed only 15% of the product, so I'm gonna pay you only 15% of what has been concrete before. And you also need to be sure that the previous developer is ready to help the new developer to get back on the project and to develop the project and keep going with it. So it's just a small part of what you need to keep in mind if you want to delegate the work to someone else or to a developer. Of course, I invite you to come on MyCTOfriend. We have a bunch of courses, especially on how to manage a technical startup and especially if you don't have technical skills background. So I hope it was helpful. I'm looking forward to see you inside, and until then, take care. Bye for now.